Let's talk about something oddly specific: the psychology behind people who genuinely dislike small talk. You know the situation. You step into an elevator and someone smiles. Busy day? Instantly, you feel trapped. Or you're at a gathering and someone launches into a safe, predictable conversation about traffic or the weather, and you can almost feel your energy drain. For some, this is harmless social glue. For others, it feels unbearable. So why do certain people shrink away from casual chatter while others thrive on it? The answer reveals more about personality, brain wiring, and emotional needs than most realize. First, there are people whose minds crave depth. Research on what psychologists call a high need for cognition shows that some individuals are naturally drawn to complexity. Their brains seek meaning, patterns, big ideas. When they're asked, "How was your weekend?" it doesn't stimulate them. It feels empty. Surface-level exchanges don't activate the same reward systems in their brain. There's little engagement, little excitement. But introduce a topic with substance: identity, morality, human nature, fear, ambition, and they come alive. They're animated, curious, energized. It's not that they dislike people. They dislike conversations that feel stagnant. Silence, to them, is preferable to dialogue that goes nowhere. Then there's a second group. For them, small talk isn't boring, it's exhausting. While others glide through polite conversation effortlessly, these individuals experience it as a performance. Inside their mind, there's constant monitoring. Did that sound normal? Am I making enough eye contact? Was that awkward? Should I respond differently? Psychologists refer to this mental strain as cognitive load. Instead of relaxing into the exchange, they're managing impressions and analyzing reactions. Because so much energy goes into self-monitoring, they can't fully engage. Over time, their brain associates small talk with stress. Avoiding it becomes a form of self-protection, not antisocial behavior. Now here's another angle. Some people reject small talk because they see it as scripted. Think about how many interactions follow predictable formulas. How are you? Good. Even when that isn't true. These exchanges are socially efficient, but they rarely lead anywhere meaningful. For individuals who value authenticity, repeating these scripts feels artificial. They experience a disconnect between what they feel and what they're expected to say. In psychological terms, this touches on existential authenticity, the desire to live and communicate in ways that feel real and aligned. When conversations stay shallow, they feel trapped in roles rather than expressing who they actually are. There's another shared trait among many who dislike small talk: comfort with silence. Most people rush to fill quiet moments. A pause feels awkward, almost threatening. But some individuals don't experience silence as a problem. To them, silence can feel honest. It removes the need for performance. It allows presence without pressure. This ability often gets misunderstood. Society equates constant conversation with warmth and friendliness. So when someone doesn't jump to fill every gap, they may be labeled aloof or disinterested. In reality, they might simply not feel compelled to speak unless there's something genuine to say. A common stereotype is that people who reject small talk believe they're intellectually superior. While that can be true for a minority, it's usually more complex. In many cases, the resistance comes from vulnerability, not arrogance. Surface-level conversation is safe. No one risks much discussing harmless topics. But deeper conversation requires exposure. It means revealing doubts, opinions, fears. That opens the door to misunderstanding or rejection. Ironically, the person who steers toward meaningful dialogue isn't trying to impress. They're willing to risk being seen. Research also suggests that people who avoid casual chatter often prefer fewer but deeper relationships. Instead of maintaining wide social networks built on frequent light exchanges, they invest in bonds where emotional depth is possible. They might have a small circle, but those connections tend to be intense, loyal, and layered. For them, time spent in superficial interaction can feel like time lost. It delays real understanding. They don't necessarily want more conversations, they want better ones. So what does all of this mean? If you find small talk draining or frustrating, it doesn't mean you're broken or antisocial. It may mean your brain craves substance. It may mean you're tired of performing. It may mean authenticity matters to you more than social smoothness. And if you meet someone who seems uneasy during casual exchanges, don't rush to label them cold or rude. They might simply be waiting for the conversation to move somewhere real. In the end, the divide isn't about friendliness versus hostility. It's about depth versus surface, performance versus presence, safety versus sincerity. The real question is where you stand, and whether you're comfortable admitting it.